The Nigerian press and Nigerian journalists must desist from peddling the wrong narrative that Simon Ekpa is a member or the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Good afternoon, viewers all over the world, Biafrans and lovers of freedom. I am Wada Jovista Chichi, coming to you live on Biafra television. And if this is your first time of joining us on BTV, you are welcome to the program. This afternoon, we have our distinguished analyst who shall be joining us in the studio immediately after this press release. IPOB press release of 22nd of November 2024. Simon Ekpa is not an IPOB member and must not be associated with IPOB. The attention and the attention of the global family and movement of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB has been drawn to the purported arrest and claim of being an IPOB member by the infamous Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile, BRGEIE, named Simon Ekpa. For public records, Simon Ekpa has never been a member of IPOB, led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is currently being detained illegally in the DSS solitary confinement by the Nigerian government since 4 years now. Contrary to the disinformation from the BBC News reports that Simon Ekpa is an IPOB leader, Simon Ekpa is not a member, let alone be a leader in IPOB. IPOB has some family units in Finland, and Simon Ekpa is not a registered member of any IPOB units in Finland or any units globally. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu established IPOB as a peaceful movement to seek Biafra independence via a supervised UN referendum. IPOB is a peaceful global movement that has never taken to violence or armed struggle in 2 decades of our self-determination struggle. Even though the various murderous government regimes in Nigeria have provoked us, we have remained resolute and peaceful. On the other hand, Simon Ekpa was seen by some sympathetic to the Biafra that he was a destructive agent paid to infiltrate and destroy the IPOB peaceful movement for Biafra self-determination. He recruited violent criminals to destabilize the Southeast region in 2021. He is a self-acclaimed prime minister of a small group called Biafra Government in Exile. The infamous BGRE, led by Simon Ekpa, created a violent group that called themselves the Biafra Liberation Army. They have perpetrated various violent acts against the civilians in the eastern region in the name of Biafra agitation. IPOB family worldwide refused to accept that system to achieve Biafra freedom and sovereignty. His group and the Nigerian army are responsible for many kidnappings, rapes, killings, forceful disappearances, and burning down of homes in the southeastern region. Undoubtedly, Simon Ekpa has claimed responsibility for violent actions of his criminal gangs. The Simon Ekpa-led group has no alliance or relationship with IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He recruited his criminals who have been terrorizing the Biafran territory since 2021. After the kidnap, extraordinary rendition, and illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, the Nigerian government and politicians whom Biafrans believe contracted Simon Ekpa has been tagging his group's violent and terrorist activities on IPOB just to blackmail and demonize the genuine and peaceful Biafra self-determination struggle by the indigenous people of Biafra. IPOB is by this press release calling on BBC News and Finnish authorities to note that Simon Ekpa has no relationship with IPOB in Finland or any other units globally. He should not be associated with IPOB because IPOB does not support violent agitation that he represents. IPOB, led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is a peaceful movement that has adopted civil disobedience to press our demand for Biafra's self-determination and referendum. Unlike Simon Ekpa, who recruits and funds criminals who carry out killings of civilians and government agents. There is noise, please. We do not have any relationship whatsoever. Simon Ekpa has been shielded from arrest and terrorism and other charges against innocent Biafran civilians by the Nigerian and Finnish governments. However, for every crime, there is a day of reckoning. On the purported arrest of Simon Ekpa, all IPOB members, Biafrans and lovers of Biafra freedom should remain calm and focused on the ball, which is the release of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, from the illegal detention and the Biafra restoration project. IPOB does not do violent agitation or violence against civilians. It does not do violence, agitation, or violence against Nigeria security forces or the sponsored infiltrator criminals represented by Simon Ekpa. Written and signed by Comrade Ima Powerful, the Media and Publicity Secretary for IPOB. I still remain Wada Jovista Chichi, and I am once again welcoming those that just joined us to the program. And in the studio here with us is the Deputy West African Representatives, and also, as we always say, the Zoo National Coordinator. Mazi, you are welcome to the program.
God bless you. Wada, your visitor.
Please, Mazi, you will speak up and you try to help us to maintain this noisy background. Please, is so disturbing. The noisy background is so disturbing. You will help us. Please, can you speak out and introduce yourself more to viewers so that they can hear your voice once again? Thank you, Mazi, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Chichi. Biafrans and lovers of freedom all over the world. I bring you greetings from our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the greatest freedom fighter alive. My name remains Mazi Jesse I. Odoku. I am a humble servant of this great movement. I lead IPOB in Nigeria, and I co-coordinate IPOB in West Africa. It is my pleasure to be here again today. Thank you.
All right, Mazi. This afternoon we shall be focusing on Biafra is a global politics. But before we move on, I want to plead with the viewers that Mazi Chika Austin may likely be joining us before the end of the program. And we continue. Mazi, as we want to take a look at Biafra as a global politics, what does it mean for a Biafra to be global politics? And what are the empirical facts that it is a global politics? Thank you, Mazi.
Yes, Wanda,
Yeah.
Biafra in a global politics is a harsh truth that must be told to humanity. Many people have talked about Biafra. They don't know the significance of Biafra. What does Biafra represent? Where does Biafra stand in the global economic negotiations? There are global blocks, there are economic blocks, there are political strong powers, and their interests. When you talk about politics, maybe you would have started by talking about what is global politics. We know that politics goes to the Greek polis that talks about city state, community, or societal, down to the Aristotelian theories that was a reflection of Plato Republic. All that Aristotle wrote about politics were just what he picked from the ideas of Plato. And what is Plato talking about? They talk about how a people governs themselves. So when we talk about
seven terrible mistakes men make in their relationships. Most men would have done better in life
the
today.
study of international or cross-border political space, where all the political struggle over power, how power should be distributed, how best could it be organized, how do people have the interrelated societies, how would they govern themselves, protect their common interests, stipulated or guided by the social construct or what we call social contract. So when we talk about global politics, now we're talking about the politics played across other countries. How does it affect individual interests of these nations or power blocks, so to say? So if we say Biafra is a global politics, yes, we are saying that the struggle for Biafra, the reason why so many nations have risen against Biafra is because of what Biafra represents. In case you don't know, what does Biafra represent globally? Biafra represents oppression of the black man. Biafra represents, talking about freedom of Biafra, you're talking about freedom for the oppressed. We're talking about freedom for Africa. The day once Biafra is freed, Africa is free. Everybody knows that. The Europeans know that. The reason why everybody is, they behave as if they are now aware that Mazi Lionman Lioni was kidnapped. The reason why they're not talking about it, UN gave a verdict that Mazi Lionman Lioni should be released and compensated. And there was more to it. In the international politics, UN does not come out sometimes and say everything as they are. When they give their opinions, you make influence from it. By saying release Mazi Lionman Lioni, UN has practically said that the agitation for Biafra is in order. It conforms to all known international laws and rules. And by kidnapping him, you guys have committed an offense. You have offended social laws about all the countries involved, even the international body itself. In 1949, there was a convention, the Universal Human Rights Declaration, that was adopted shortly after the Second World War. Anybody that is a member of the UN is automatically a signatory to that treaty. So if you go against those things, automatically laws of any state that is a signatory to the UN Convention should rise against such a person. And that is a crime that Nigeria has committed. So, in a nutshell, Biafra is a global politics because Biafra issue is what makes political powers have headache, how to control that space. That is the reason why we are doing what we're doing. Thank you.
All right, Mazi, with your explanation now, is IPOB a political party?
IPOB is not a political party. IPOB is a pressure group. And what is a political party? Political party is a pressure group that seek the interests of their group politically. So political parties are registered as organizations, associations, where people come to articulate their political interests. And most political parties emanated from political associations or pressure groups, like you have in South Africa. The NCNC, the party rule in South Africa, they started as an agitating formation like IPOB. IPOB is not a political party, and IPOB has nothing to do with politics. IPOB has never sponsored any politician of any party anywhere in the history of the Zoom. IPOB has no political branch. Today we hear about the political wing of IPOB. These are the work of infiltrators. More will come, you will hear more. So the DSS agents, those contracted by Britain to infiltrate, to destroy IPOB, the only thing they think of is infiltration, because that's the only way they can achieve their aim. But all that shenanigans are dead on arrival.
All right, Mazi, can you further differentiate global politics from political parties?
Global politics are, should I say, they're in the same political scenario. They found themselves doing the same thing. Political parties seek the interests of their members. And global politics have different dimensions. As we speak now, we have a lot of power blocks in the world. Let me narrow it down so that somebody can understand clearly. You have the BRICS. The BRICS is an organization of different interests. You have NATO. All these are organizations. These are pressure groups that seek, that have what they go about is their own interests of their members, how to protect their members. So IPOB is not a political party, like I said, and global politics is the politics that involve every other country, every sovereign state. So what concerns everybody in the whole world, that politics that translates the borders of other countries, interrelated nations, is where the issue or the topic of global politics can only be discussed. Thank you.
All right, please help us to control some background noise
I'm
as
trying to take it.
yeah,
Some
thank
calls
you.
are coming and I'm
All
trying
right,
to
thank you so much.
I'm trying to take care of that.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody is asking a question here. I wouldn't know if the person, in what faith the person is asking, but in whichever faith the person is asking, I will like you to attend to the question. The question says, can you explain to him or to them who is an IPOB member and who is not?
Okay. Thank you. IPOB as a pressure group, as an association of people who seek to liberate the indigenous people within a particular space, somewhere in old southeastern Nigeria. As we speak today, Biafran territory cuts across the so-called old southeast and other areas that were balkanized into some other regions. So precisely speaking, an IPOB member is anybody who hails from these locations in present-day southeast, south-south, lower Kogi, lower Benue, in a contraption called Nigeria. And anybody that hails from that location can be qualified as an indigenous person of Biafra. If your father is from any of those areas, you're born to those areas, or you're married to these localities, or you become any form of anything that qualifies you as a citizen, anything that makes you lay claim to have come to this area, makes you an indigenous person. But to be an IPOB member, there is more to it. You can be born in Aba and yet not an IPOB member. You can be born in Igbocha, you call Port Harcourt. You could be born in Benin. You could be born anywhere in Biafra land. And yet, you're not an IPOB member. To be an IPOB member, what you call family members, has certain requirements, certain requirements. You will get associated with this organization. There is a registered organization in over 100 countries, as known as Indigenous People of Biafra. We have leaders, we have units and formations. So the organic ground flows from the top to the bottom. To be a member, you must identify with a particular unit where you reside. To be an IPOB member in Italy, you'll be registered with a particular unit where you pay your dues. You pay dues every month. And that's what makes you a member. Each other month you pay a due, you have renewed your membership. We attend meetings, regular meetings, whether online or physical. We meet regularly. We have stipulated times that I want to see on air that we meet every month at unit levels. We have zones. We have local government formations. We have districts, senatorial districts. We have regions, and we have national formations. What they call the country. Like in Finland, you have IPOB Finland. That's how you get those names. IPOB USA. That's how the country. Then when you go beyond the countries, you have where one or two countries come together and they have a leader. When you have European rep, Asian rep, African rep, that's how those other countries that come together under one continent or sub-unit within the continent. That is how IPOB formation and the hierarchy flows to the DOS. For you to be an IPOB member, you must be registered. You must have a unit. You must have leaders you report to. There's nobody in IPOB that does not conform to that chain of command. Nobody except only Mazi Lionman Kanu, who is even subject. He still reports responsible to the DOS. Because even in decisions, he brings certain decisions to the DOS that approve. So every other person reports to somebody. All of us report to somebody. To be a member, you must have a unit where you are recognized officially. When you pay your dues, you give a receipt. So there are empirical evidences to show who is a member. There will be a record of activities of your meeting attendance, of your involvement and other statutory financial contributions you make. Somebody should be able to testify. You can't be a member of an IPOB, you don't belong to any unit or any formation. It's not possible. We don't have such members. Sympathizers are not members. Somebody can believe in what we're doing. Somebody can even contribute. If you're making donations, you make a generous donation. It doesn't make you a member. A sympathizer of a team is not a member of the team. We have football teams. We have Chelsea fans. A fan is not a member of a club. You cannot say that somebody is a Chelsea fan. You say that person is a member of Chelsea. It's not done. It doesn't make good sense. Thank you.
Mazi, if the angle the person is asking from, maybe let's take it to a broader sense of it. You know, some people they will know, but they'll claim or pretend not to know. If the person is trying to bring it just to fit in the narrative being attracted by Nigerian journalists, that Simon Ekpa is an indigenous person or member, because they're not calling him indigenous person. I would appreciate if you can still expatiate an indigenous member of IPO and an indigenous person, because some people might take it that since I come from the eastern part of Nigeria, or since I come from any of the Igbo states, I am a Biafran. Can you please do a little expatiation there, so that the difference between an indigenous person and indigenous member of IPOB will be more clearer or more clear?
Thank you, Wada. Yeah, the distinction between an indigenous person and indigenous member is simple. An indigenous person from Biafra is anybody that is indigenous to the location known as Biafra. There was a place known as Biafra before British created their biggest stealing farm in the world, known as Nigeria. Biafra has been in existence. So anybody by birth, anybody by any law or by any convention that qualifies you as an indigenous person, that if you meet you somewhere and say, where are you from? You say, I hail from Anam, I'm from Omambara. I am an Ungwa man. As an Ungwa man, I'm an indigenous person of Biafra. If you are an Isoko man, you're an indigenous person of Biafra. You are from, what's it called? Across anywhere within the Biafran state territory, you are an indigenous person of Biafra. No doubt about that. Samuel Ekpa is an indigenous person of Biafra by his claim that he's from any of the Biafran states. That is enough order. If it can be verified, if it can be proven that it's from any location where we know as Biafra, he's an indigenous person. But an indigenous member is somebody who have gone beyond the claim. You must make a step. What is the step? Look for IPOB and register. If you're following Mazi Lionman Lioni on Radio Biafra, you're not a member of IPOB. You are not. You're just a social media person. Like I said, you have clubs, not fan clubs, Chelsea fan clubs. For Chelsea fan clubs are not Chelsea players. They're not registered. Nobody pays them salary. Chelsea players collect half statutory amount they're paid. They enter into agreement. Nobody can be a member of Chelsea without entering into agreement. No player, you can't have any Chelsea player that is not covenanted through an agreement, through any form of written convention or oath. That is why we say United POB must swear an oath. If it has not administered on you, you're not yet a member. It doesn't matter how much you're contributed. It doesn't matter how much like Samuel fellowship you have. The logo you use. There is somebody called Mayegu Diary. When Onyendo was saying, listen to this person, listen to this person. You mentioned Mayegu. Is Mayegu an IPOB member? The answer is no. But he believes in the ideals of IPOB. He speaks good of the messages of Mazi Lionman Lioni. Has that qualified him as an IPOB member? I'm asking you, that journalist. Is Mayegu an IPOB member? He speaks good of IPOB. This other boy, before he joined hand with Sam Levi, you know, some of them do all this in deception, in error. This other boy that front for Sunday Boho, this boy in London. There's one other boy now that's a help that's like a spokesperson for Iboho. He believes in the ideals of IPOB. Does he make him a member? No. To be a member, you must be a registered member. Anybody that's not registered with any IPOB formation, a unit, that is the first formation of IPOB. Nobody gets to DOS without coming from unit. You don't pay your dues in DOS. You don't pay your dues as a continental rep. You pay dues in unit. When you introduce yourself, you tell us your unit, your zone. Somebody called me from the US that they want to join our family in the US. So he was able to locate the people in charge. So they said because of these infiltrators that they send their way, that some of them are using backdoor. They want to infiltrate, they want to penetrate them. They called me. This young man said he lived in Lagos, in Ladipo. He left Nigeria so time. Please help us confirm whether he was a member or not. We added the young man online. Mazi, where are you from? He said, mention the state, somewhere in Biafra land. I said, good and fine. Where were you a member of IPOB? Which unit were you registered? He said, it's from a unit in Ladipo, in Mushi. I said, give me the unit number. What's the number of your unit? Which zone? And I asked, who was the unit coordinator when you were there? He mentioned the name. Who was the zonal coordinator? He wasn't too sure. Who was the district coordinator? At least he was able to communicate. He mentioned things that showed that even if he has not been a member, he knows how the formation, how the system runs. I said, okay, give me the number. They gave me a number. I called the person. Interrogated. He said, yes, so and so was our member. He was a hardcore. Yes, they are no more in good terms so personally, but the guy was his unit and so good and fine. And I communicated back to them. So please, I called him whatsoever assistance they require. Because I've verified his story is true. So that's the distinction. To be a member, you must be registered. Thank you.
Your point is very, very clear, and thank you so much for doing justice to that very question. Still on global politics, Mazi, If we come to Africa, it seems that social powers use African countries against Africans or against African countries. For instance, when you come to, there is no integration or synergy among African countries to push for the independence of fellow African country. And also, these powers are also used, the social powers are use African countries to bring down other African countries instead of supporting them, especially once it comes to Biafra issues. You cannot see any West African country or African country or issue of Biafra being discussed even in AU. Mazi, what's your take on this?
Yes, like I will talk about the global politics. What is the politics play around Biafra agitation? Why do they use African countries against Africa? Let me take you back to history. Europeans could not conquer black people until they engaged a black man. To conquer the whole of West Africa, they trained an army in Ghana. They took black people to come and kill their fellow blacks who understood the terrain. Now, every country in Africa or West Africa, nobody talks about Biafra because they are all slaves. There are no free countries in Africa except Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. These are the only three countries that are free in Africa. No other country is free in Africa. All they have is flag independence. No single country is free. You got to be free before you can speak against evil. I'll give you an example from local things that happen in local palace. During the regime of Buhari, when Buhari was killing Christians, slaughtering Christians everywhere, as they had agreed with Obama, when pastor was challenging Buhari, Oyedepo was speaking up. He was speaking up against what he was doing. But now I'll put it to you that the likes of Oyedepo will not condemn the evil going on in the zoo again, even if Fulani starts killing again. Why? These politicians, these APC corrupt politicians know how to play their game. Now they want to grant him an what's it called, airstrike, so that his plane can take off from Canaan land to anywhere and come down. So he can't speak against them again. That's politics. They're constructing a bridge from Mountain of Fire, Mountaintop University, to supply academic materials and aid to those schools. Those are politics. Those are the local politics they play. They will get donor nations. A lot of countries will come and invest in their ministry, support their ministry, so that they will help them hold that. What is that? What are they trying to hold? To hold the zoo together. Britain know what they're benefiting. I've said it before in our program, in Who is a Biafran, the Coastal Region program, that if you go to Warri, if you go to Ughelin, go to Benin, go to Port Harcourt, go to Calabar, you see that young men, 16 years, 15, 18, are picking millions. Yahoo. How? Is it that they're so intelligent? Do you know what is going on? There's a cabal, there's a cartel that specializes in young men from those areas, sending them money so that they don't support agitation, so that they don't rise and say, look, this killing is too much. If you go to Warren, go to Escavos, go to any of those regions, you see stealing going on. Over 64 countries are stealing oil from Biafra land, from those areas. Those are young boys that do piracy. When they hear that if you press computer, just send any message, somebody sends you $5,000. Why do you want to risk yourself? Why do you want to go and challenge the Navy? You join them, pick money, drink, do Yahoo, you think you're living large. These things are deliberate. What they're sending to these young men is not up to 2% of what they collect from us. That's the global politics. So that's the reason why you see African countries come talk is that because no country is free, no country in Africa is represented by the will of the people. They always put their stooge, put strangers everywhere who represent their interests, who do not care about the people they represent. Who do you expect to come and fight for caged people in Africa when everybody is caged? It is only when you have more people freed. 3 countries free, and more is going to be free. It doesn't matter how much they struggle. Now, let me tell you, talking about global politics, let's not forget the war going on in Ukraine has something to do with Biafra. You ask me how. It is the international politics that is wider. They're killing people in Ukraine. The people not firing bullets and releasing weapons in Ukraine. They're not doing it because they hate Ukrainians. They're doing it to distract Russia. Putin has a foreign policy that says, Africa, if you want to be free, I will help you. And they have held 3. Stay counted. So they have to take them, engage them seriously. Now they know that Trump is pro-freedom. Trump's believe that the continent, Africa is the richest continent in the world. Let me go historically. Pretty much of all the wealth, the global wealth, the collective common wealth of the whole universe, 95%, 90% comes from Africa. If not up to 90, not less than 70 comes from Africa. Yet Africa is the poorest continent. Why? Because nobody is free. The Europeans still control all our resources. Just yesterday, Mali became free. Now Mali is debt free. Which other country is debt free? Is South Africa debt free? Even with their GDP, with their collective wealth, are they free? Is Nigeria debt free? Why? Because Nigeria is not free. And Nigeria can never be free from debt. All the Brentwood institutions you see are used to impoverish Africa. What you call World Bank is not there because of UK. It's not there because of Italians. World Bank is there to make sure that no country rise in Africa. IMF is there to make sure that every country in Africa is indebted and impoverished. That's what they call IMF conditionalities. When you collect IMF loan, let me tell you why almost all the countries in Africa are poor. IMF will let them with loan. Come and take our loan. And as idiots that they will go and collect the loan. And the IMF loan has something called conditionalities. IMF conditionality. You liberalize your port. As you see Cotonou port, you can import human beings, dead bodies there, on challenge. Because they have an open port, liberalized by powers greater than 10. These are what you get when you collect IMF loan. Ethiopia collected it, they have not recovered it. Tomorrow they can't recover. Except power changes sound at the global, at the international level, where sincere and honest people will take charge of the UN and say, look, this evil, this impunity is too much. Africa can't be free from debt. You get them loan, you take all their resources at 0%. There are countries in Africa, the resources they take from them, what they pay them is 10% of the international value of those commodities at the global market. How can such a country survive? You decide what they should do, what they should sell, who they should sell to, how much they should sell. Where is that done? That is why Africa is poor. That is why no country in Africa will be able to raise their head until they take themselves away from the shackles of new colonialism. Am I communicating?
Yes, Mazi, you are.
So that is the crux of the matter. The war in Ukraine is deliberate to keep Russia busy. So Russia will not have time to help countries that want to be free. Now they want to do the same thing with Trump. Biden is pushing to kickstart Third World War so that Trump will not have time to free countries. Trump said in my second term, I will help Africa. He said it then. That was why Bill Gates went to laboratory to kind of create a problem. It was Bill Gates' laboratory experiment that got Trump out of office. Because it was COVID-19, they used to rig that election and push Trump away. Now Trump has come back. He hasn't changed. Same principle. He still believes in same ideals that we should have a just society. Why should Africa be dying in the Mediterranean Sea, trying to cross to Europe, whereas what makes Europe beautiful, what makes Europe what it is taken from Africa? European countries base their budget based on what they steal from Africa on annual basis. So why should such people continue to suffer? Let's have a fair deal. There's something called global justice. I'll come on another day to talk about global justice in its entirety, the academic context. In the context of global justice, it is unfair that all Africans you talk about that are owing, they are really not owing. France make billions of dollars out of their money. They keep for them, they help Africa to keep their money. Africa pay France for keeping their money. Have you heard of that? France wants it over to make over $30 billion every year. And such people are still wallowing in poverty. What you call your wealth, France has the largest gold reserve, one of the biggest gold reserves in the world. They don't have a single gold. Is the gold is too from Ivory Coast. Is the gold is too from other African countries. See, this is not justice. Putin is somebody who believes in global justice, international justice. Trump believes in justice. You can call him any name you like. He believes in fair play. Why would all of you run to America? Stay in your country. Develop your space. You can interchange. You can come for holiday. You can come for holiday. Can America collect this and that? You want to come for holiday in Sambisa Forest? They used to have Yankari Games Village in Bauchi many years ago as a young man. I went there in 1991. I used to be an explorer. 1991. I went to Bauchi to go and see that place as a tourist center. Can anybody go to Bauchi and say want to see Yankara Games Village? Or Boko Haram there? So truly say, because I've said it before, let me repeat, there is anywhere you have insurgency in Africa, know there is something there that the West is stealing. Go and discover any mineral resources that is important today in Liberia. They will ship to Liberia. You see all the countries that have no resources, they have peace. DRC Congo is one of the most troubled places, location on earth, because they're the richest country on earth. They discovered new minerals. I don't know how God bless those people and they allow idiots to destroy their territory. They use infiltration. Mobutu that they brought, they used him to push away Patrice Lumumba and killed him. Since then till today, they have not recovered. The same thing they want to do in Biafra. The same thing they want to implant their own people, plant their stooge, plant criminals that are interested in themselves. Why is it that they're looking for how to infiltrate IPOB? Because IPOB men are people who have refused to accept any form of negotiations that is contrary to total freedom to our people. Anything that is inimical, that's antithetical to the ideals of IPOB, these men are not ready, even in the face of death. That is why we must be infiltrated. We now have political will. We don't know who is heading it. Somebody that is not a member of IPOB is heading IPOB political wing. But they will fail. Do you know why? They're dealing with a very smart and intelligent race. They think 10 times faster than them. The people are celebrating EPA arrest. Are you sure it's EPA arrest we're talking about here? It's something else altogether. I'll get to that. God bless you.
And you'll be blessed also, Mazi, for doing all this justice for our people to be understanding what is going on globally against Biafra restoration. Mazi, still on global politics. Let's move to Kenya because we are talking about how social powers use other African countries to hold down Africans. It was in Kenya that Mazi Nnamdi was abducted. There are abductions of some other dissidents and high profile Africans that has been abducted in Kenya. And on 20th of November, Kiza of Uganda, who is an opposition party member that attended the launch of a book in Kenya, was also abducted. Now, Mazi, does it mean that Kenya is now a hunt for political victims?
Yes, if you tag it that way, you're not far from the truth. Kenya is the international headquarters of global kidnapping and terrorism. When it comes to global kidnapping, Kenya is at the top corner. They're the best. They hold our record. They're the best in Africa when it comes to betraying people, when it comes to selling out agitators, selling out opposition parties. They're the best. And it's very sad. Kenyatta, who fought the British, one of the worst casualties that Africa recorded in pre-colonial or in their quest for freedom, in the hand of the blue-eyed criminals from across the canal, the Brits, is Kenya. You know of the Mau Mau revolt. When I read about the story of Kenya, personally I get angry. I feel like I should do something. A while ago, the impostors that call themselves royal family, the criminals, the biggest stealing family in the whole of Europe, the son went to Kenya, and the morons in Kenya were laying a red carpet for him. You begin to wonder, Africans are they human? Do Africans have brain at all? Do they reason at all? Somebody whose mother or sister, whose mother killed your people in their thousands unjustly, is visiting you. They're giving you red carpet. Can you see that the brain of a black man does not work well? It does not connect. Can you see it? When you do talk about frontal lobe, the frontal lobe of a black man is not open. It's permanently closed. I can imagine that somebody came, and I know the story pretty well. The evidences of those evil are still scattered literally around the walls of their historical, their own natural archives. They still have evidences of it. Such a person comes to visit me. I'm giving him, when somebody should have gone to shoot him, somebody should have gone to revenge. That you see them praising them, you see them venerating their own ancestors, God has said, where their own that kept them and kept their father before the rebel that made them come to life are demons and evil. Something is wrong with Africa. So Kenya has that crown that the best in Africa when it comes to political persecution. Kenya know how to do it best. Mojobu Kiyata, I might not probably pronounce the name well, when he was under that serious heat of the British, when the British were dealing with him, at the time British were showing them pepper, slaughtering them like fish, but at the same time that the demon from the one that was in DRC Congo was killing them, cutting off their hands, killing them like there's no tomorrow, to instigate fear, to instill fear in other Africans, so you don't challenge a white man. This man ran to the zoo as if we were kept him in Enugu till tomorrow. Kayata Market is there. Kayata Street is there in Enugu. He was fed from Eastern Nigerian coffers, boss. We took care of him for long. He was fighting the battles from here. The press of the Eastern region were helping him to project him, to write about him. That time was African Pilot and all those journalists from our own space. We are writing in his favor, projecting him to the world. Like what to talk about now. No African country is helping us to talk. Nobody talks about Biafra. Nobody is sympathizing with us. Just a few. And where is it coming from now? From the Sahel. I've been called to speak in a radio program in Burkina Faso separately. Why? Now because they now understand freedom. They're making reference to Mazi Lionman Lioni. That is why they can allow us to come and talk about freedom. So you need to be free before you can fight bondage, fight this British or new colonial slavery or bondage we found ourselves. So that is the situation. Thank you.
Okay, Mazi, can you be looking at the borders of Kenya, including their airports, being porous and coarse? Or is it that Kenya authorities are so insensitive of the country's security? Or is it that this country has gone so corrupt that they no longer feel Africa, that other Africans are always being hunted in Kenya?
The simple answer is that Kenya is not free as you think. Kenya is not controlled by Kenyans. Kenya is the other side of the corn of Nigeria. Nigeria is not free. Nigeria is controlled by external forces. Who rules Nigeria is decided in Chatham House, not by Nigerians, not by the electorate. Kenya, for many years now, Kenya has always been controlled by British stewards. And that is the same pattern everywhere in Africa. Let me take you to where Kizzy come from. In Uganda, one man has been there for how many years? Nobody challenges him. If you allow the British, if you allow the neo-colonialists take what they are taking, you can remain there. You're not undemocratic as long as you allow them to steal. That's why Cameroon is there now. Infiltrators, impostors are ruling Cameroon. The man has been living in Switzerland for about 25 years. Strangers, strange faces are in Cameroon, stealing. The one thing that Britain and France does very well, Britain, France, Denmark, all these neo-colonialists, any company they get into, first thing they introduce there is corruption. They will pollute you. A corrupt man has no time thinking about his brother. A corrupt man is a selfish man. A corrupt politician thinks only of himself. Me, I myself are alone. You're not interested in what comes to the society. You're not interested in whether you have road or not. So how much do I get? That's what happens in Kenya. All the politicians are corrupt and dirty. That's what you see in the zoo. Where you have dirty politicians that are corrupt, nobody thinks about the people. Nothing works well. So everywhere is open, everywhere is porous. Is the zoo not porous? All the terrorists come in anyhow they lie. Where you see Nigeria intelligence working is when they want to catch a man. The only people that the laws of Nigeria works. The laws, the security laws and security intelligence, where it works in the whole zoo, is when an evil man is involved, when an Ijo man is involved, when an Ibibio man is involved. If an Efik man commits a crime, you will know that police is working in Nigeria. Officials, quickly. So the same thing is obtainable in Kenya. The Kisi or whatever he called, one of the major opposition leaders in Uganda that was kidnapped in Kenya. Those people are strong, they're great. Their name will be written in gold, like Mazi Lionman Lioni. If you know what these people have gone through in their country, why? Because the colonial master, the colonial demons, they don't care about African well-being. They don't care how many people dies. Once you agree to what to their rules and their terms and conditions, the first thing they do is they make you helpless. The British are the most helpless people on earth. They killed 7 million children. They never gave a damn. They were reading their Bible, praying in tongues, receiving from the Holy Ghost, but they slaughtered 7 million black children. And somebody from that space that they killed their uncle, their aunties, will still go to their church and bow to them to show you our level of idiocy. So the case of Kenya is just the other side of the table of the zoo. No security. Why? Because the right people are not in power. Why? Because the rules, what makes them a nation, has everything has broken down. Kenya has a collapsed system like the zoo. So stuff like that continue to happen. God bless you.
Mazi, you are just awesome. As we were saying this, I was just trying to relate the abduction of Kiza and abduction of Mazi Kanu, who is illegally in DSS detention, just the same way those civilian were just hunted in Kenya, and today he is in military detention in Uganda. Even their police was denying it. The army initially denied before the wife now raised alarm that the husband is really in military detention in Uganda. I can see that Uganda is never a safe place for political victims or political, if you are any high profile African that is facing political persecution, I believe should not in any way find himself in Kenya, or else you become a prey, because Kenya has become a bait for African political victims. I still remain one that Jovi Star Chichi, and in the studio with us is still Deputy African, a West African rep and Nigerian National Coordinator in the person of Mazi JCI Onyuku. If you're just joining us, we are focusing on Biafra being a global politics. And I know many people might be asking, where is Mazi Chika Austin? Mazi Chika Austin, I believe, and hopefully will rectify his problem as he's facing big challenges in joining us, but hopefully he will resolve it and then join us before the end of the program. Mazi, I will please control this your background. Please help us. Help us is very imperative. You help us to control your background. Mazi, are you with me?
Life and direct.
All right, thank you so much. Now I would like to lower this global politics to our local politics, and I'll be bringing it to River State. Most people know what is exactly going on in Rivers. You want to say anything on the global politics before I move to the local politics?
Yes, I'm also on global politics.
All right, go ahead, please.
Biafra, the reason why everybody is silent about Biafra is a fight to control the Gulf of Guinea. That channel is of importance, is of economic interest to the Western vultures. The British can do anything to regain their grip on that space, and the French. That is why millions of Amazonians die every day. They don't give a damn. They don't care how many dies. They are sworn that this place will not be free. But I tell you what, for free, they will get the worst disappointment in their life. These people that even taught us some of the things we know theoretically in history, they often seem to forget some of their theories. Society is dynamic. Things will continue to change. Are you getting me? It does not matter how powerful you are. Power is transient. Nobody holds power in perpetuity. There are no permanent champions. Global politics always are influenced by so many variable factors. Everything in our society affects the way the global politics is played. All of them are, the whole game is, they want to cycle the Gulf of Guinea. They don't want anybody to come there because that is where all their ship pass through. That is most of what they steal from the whole of West Africa pass through that channel. So that is the center of attraction. That is why all the nonsense against Biafra. If you enter flight in Ethiopian Airways, some airlines still return it. If you check their log, you still see Biafra is still there. It has not been removed. So they don't want that name mentioned because it reminds everybody the evil that the British did. It reminds everybody of the genocide. Nobody has talked about it. All the genocide in the world have been recognized. Why have they failed to recognize Biafran genocide? If you recognize Biafran genocide, the Biafran question pops up. Then somebody will ask, we need to discuss it, we need to revisit it. In history, they revisit injustice. In global politics, if any people have been treated wrongly over time, one antecedent, something that happens somewhere to bring up the case and to revisit it and do justice. The world has failed to revisit the case of the issue of Biafra. Over 7 million people died. Till today, they are still dying. Now, they arrested they think they want to divert attention from Mazi Lionman, the call for the release of Mazi Lionman. Arrest of Eba has popped up more questions. They are showing videos of Nigerian army killing people in Biafra land, in their national TV right now in Finland. So these people don't know that certain things, whoever created the world, the maker of the universe has put certain laws in place. Certain changes will occur. It doesn't matter how hard you fight to stop them. So many years ago, the Roman Empire, nobody could challenge them. Think of the nonsense they did in Egypt. They wiped away the Kemet. Many people don't know, many of you don't know, that the people that occupy the space where you call Egypt today are not Egyptians. Now, where you call Middle East today, there's nothing called Middle East. It was Africa. It's a crippled land. Gaza is a crippled land. Jerusalem is a crippled land. Why did they change the story? Because they went to Egypt and stole our religion, stole our spirituality, stole our science and renamed them. This, what's it called? Napoleon, what's the name of this Alexander? When he hired Aristotle to go and all the libraries, all the great big libraries of the ancient Kemet, where they store all the knowledge, all the book, where they learned from, where they store knowledge from. He ordered they should erase them. Aristotle repackaged all the things he stole. Today you talk about Aristotelian philosophy. Aristotle wrote nothing. Plato has nothing to offer. Socrates offered nothing. Pythagoras' theory you hear about today was the same theory that was principle that was used in building the the pyramid in Egypt. So everything they stole from Africa, they renamed them. They want to if it's possible, they wipe away history completely. They started it with the zoo. That's what they planned. The template was introduced into every African country. Nobody should talk about history in Africa again. So that this generation will not be reminded that somebody killed their father or that somebody came from Futenjolon is not the king. Well, the king are not the slaves, bowing to them. They have hustlers are now the peasants. So they don't want anybody to know these stories. They don't want anybody to know that Nigeria is fake, that Nigeria was concocted by British just purely to steal. And they are stolen for over 500 years. They don't want to go. Are we going to continue this way? The answer is no. Change is imminent. Change is non-negotiable. Either they allow us to separate peacefully or we separate at any rate, any way, any which way they want it. Thank you.
Mazi, thank you so much. I don't know this question that I want to ask you now. Let me see how you will do justice to that question. You see, does it mean that they've really made mess of our sense of reasoning by making us to spend those sleepless nights, putting our legs in water, studying, trying to, pass some courses, like some managerial courses or psychology, trying to study about Pythagoras theory, aristocratic theory. And are you saying that they've really made mess of our sense of reasoning?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that the British didn't bring education to us. Let me remind all of you black people, you have been conditioned not to reason again. There is nothing they brought here. They brought pain. Africa had an advanced system politically before they came here. Africans were religious, spiritual before they came here. Technology was already on a high progression before they came. Iron smithing was here going on. Africans had started producing corn before they came here. I don't know what they taught us. I can't remember what they taught us because what they did is a distortion. They told they will have no history. But yet they came, they saw that Benin Empire, there was electricity, street light in Benin before they came here. Today, Benin does not even have light at all, no road. Now, London is shining. Everywhere in the UK shines. Manchester is like heaven. There are a lot of things that make me weep. These people came here and stole everything we have and tell us to look up to Jesus and keep praying. When we die and go to heaven, we will enjoy where they were busy building their own heaven. Today, they don't go to church because they know that church is not real. The white people know that religion is fake. Religion is a sedative. It's what they use to calm you down. When you don't steal, you want to revolt. They tell you no. Slaves, obey your masters. And who wrote that? King James, the chief slave merchant. You have Jamestown in Ghana, in Jamaica, in the US. Anywhere he goes to rename the place. He killed thousands of people in slavery. He raped so many people. If you want to quantify a human being that is happening, today they call Hitler bad names. Hitler was not as bad as King James. If you look at a Bible that you read, a black man, they have no brain. When you read all those nonsense dirty books, they are insult to our collective intelligence. Why would the George Lemmy, what is it, David Lemmy, the British foreign minister, he came to Nigeria a few weeks back to negotiate, to take Yoruba elders, to allow them to continue with the zoo for another 51 years. It's because they see you as animals. Who does they call Yoruba people? Very intelligent race. You look at them finish, you think they're so foolish and gullible like those who get power in Nigeria. That Yoruba should continue to allow the zoo to run for 51 years to become the 50th best economy in the world. Are you sick? Are you drunk? And there are many countries that is not up to 10% of the size of Yoruba nation that are doing well globally. What is the size of Switzerland? How many people are in Switzerland? In Switzerland is a country more than the Yoruba nation that are doing well. They have one of the best financial institutions in the world. Then he's telling us that we should remain for another 50 years, 51 years to become the largest economy in the world. You see, can you see where the sea finish? Because the people that kill your forefathers, your ancestors, they are worshipping them. You got all our money and sent to Canterbury in the name of religion. Back all our money sent to Rome in the name of religion. Back all the money sent to Saudi Arabia and Dubai in the name of religion. Nobody will see you as a human being because you are an animal. That's what you are. You don't reason. That somebody that killed your forefathers is a master. You call him, you bow to him. Somebody you should see and get angry, you want to revenge. You see a British man in the street, what should come to your mind is strike him. He killed your father. When you remember the picture of all the Biafran children, when you see a British man, you should look for stone and break his head for what they did to your people. But you see them about it today. That's why they don't have respect for us. That is why no white man will value you. Because you don't know yourself. You don't value yourself. Your priorities are wrong. That is a problem. We need to recalibrate our brains and the way we reason. And get our priorities right. So global politics is how to control the Gulf of Guinea. That is why Biafra is an issue, a no longer area. But thank God that these people agitating for Biafra, Mazi Lionman Kanu and those men he picked that are heading towards. That is why he won't stop blessing them. They have defeated them in all front. Mazi Lionman Kanu has won in every front. So they can't double him again. His character cannot be, nobody can play his role, nobody can pick him. If you try it, you will know. They can't kill him, they know. Everybody will die. All of us will die. If you touch Mazi Lionman Kanu, anything that breathes in the zoo will die. Even the white people won't be able to come here. It will be safe to come and stay again. We bury all of them in all the oil wells. If you touch Mazi Lionman Kanu, they know that. Now, the only option is if you pray to go and kill somebody that will rivalry him. The story around Eba, look at me, let me tell you how I see it. I have no problem with Eba, if not that he kills our people. If Eba had come out and begin to agitate, there are over 7 independent agitating groups asking for Biafra. How many of them is IPOB in war with? None. Do you see IPOB running after Mossad members? Have you ever heard that the Mossad group is killing IPOB? Have you ever heard that an IPOB group is claiming to be Mossad commander? Somebody that not even registered in Mossad. As I am now, I've never been a member of Mossad. I'm not a registered member of Mossad. If I wake up tomorrow and say, I'm the commander of Mossad militant group, is that from foreign factions? The Yoruba journalists, are they telling me that I'm not educated enough to that extent? How can Nigerian institutions, intelligence institutions, government institutions, Ministry of Defense be saying that somebody that wake up and start claiming leadership of organization it doesn't belong to is a faction? What is factionization? Are you telling me that they are so poor intellectually that they don't know the difference between an infiltrator and an impostor? They don't know who is somebody that is fighting their group. He's not a member of the group. You're not telling me he's a leader. How can you be calling somebody a leader of an organization that doesn't belong to? IPOB in Finland has written letter to say, we don't know this man. By our record, there's a difference between he was a member. Uchemenfo was a member of IPOB. If Uchemenfo forms a faction, I'll listen to you. George Oyepe was a member of IPOB. If he forms a faction tomorrow now, we say, that's the faction of IPOB, then it makes sense. So are you telling me that this Yoruba general is bearing doctor, bearing one thing or the other, that they are so poor, mentally poor, and stupid to know the difference between a former member and somebody who has never been a member of an organization? Eba has never been a member of IPOB. And he made videos. He's everywhere. That young man is a honest and understand. He made video and said, listen, I hold no position here. Because if he's a leader in IPOB, he will position. I'm just a African rep. I'm the leader of IPOB in the whole of the zone. I didn't just become. It's not something, they need a reader for book. They will promote you from one level or the other before you get to where you are. He has never been a unit coordinator. Eba has never led a unit of IPOB anywhere in the world. Within the unit, there are other sub-units. What different departments in IPOB? People lead them. Different units, different groups are led by different people. He has never held a position, not at unit level, not at zonal level, not at district level, not at the state level, not at the national. Today, he's not the global leader. Are you crazy? Are you telling me that these people have no sense? These journalists and this head officer in this place in Nigeria, are you telling me they don't know? They are playing the script, playing a route for them. You know those fools, you know what you get? Popularity becomes the order of the day. How will they be calling somebody I've never been a member? He had no video to say, yes, actually I'm not a member. He said, I won't take all that from their leader. Because why? He's not part of us. He said, I'm not part of the chain of command. We came up and tell him, okay, come if you want to agitate, go and fine. Within this IPOB law must agitate. Have your own name now. Brand yourself. So his name is Autopilot, and his name is Government in Exile. These are their names. You leave them, they are committed crime. Let me tell you the nonsense game they want to play, but they are not intelligent. To let them know we're more intelligent than them. The only thing they want to do now, let me tell you what the Sioux wanted to do. What they want to do is, now they have brought up the case, they have told Finnish government, arrest him. Let's repatriate him. We put him in jail for some time. As we're holding him, people will be begging. Release him the way they beg for Mazi Lionman Lioni. Release him, release him. The governors, the idiotic governor that is sponsoring them. Because you don't know, these infiltrators they are bankrupt by pay for Mahi. Who goes to them? There is a project for special budget. The only project the Sioux has for whole Southeast and South is budget of buying arms purification. Buy arms, put gun in the hands of miscreant, put guns in the hand of any idiot, go and be killing their people. That's the only budget they have for us. They are doing road now, the Lagos Calabar road for $2 billion. $2 billion. They said the highway from Kanu to Cape Town is $1.6 billion. Their own is $2 billion. The most expensive in the history of the world. Where? How does it affect us? Nothing. We get nothing. Tell me the project that is doing in our space. Nothing. The only thing they do in our space is killing. Rent different groups to be killing. Look for any jobless young man, give him call. So all the meaningful, all the youth that are reasonable, those that are educated, those that have something to offer, those that have learned the trade, will not stay in our space. They will run to Abuja, they will run to Lagos. Before they were running to Port Harcourt, they're raising it. Port Harcourt is still illegal. Take them away from there. We can go there, go and cause trouble. The reason why you see we can fight it tooth and nail, we can wanted to push out Fabura. Why? Because Fabura came out as Pokebo. Everybody from Obobo is from Amiibo. That is where Gajo from Obobo comes from. Obobo was discovered by an Igbo man. There was one Igbo man living in that place before you went there. He discovered that place. He brought his people there. The king in that place is called Eze. I've been there. They speak Igbo language. They speak a little variation. What they speak in Obobo is what they speak in Amiibo, in that part of Imo State. So become an Igbo man is a crime. Equally, River State has been sold to produce the next PG of Ohanese. Because for those of you who don't know this now, that the reason why people want to use Wike to destroy River State is to make sure that they don't elect an Equity man as a PG of Ohanese that is dead on arrival, because they don't know society is dynamic. So young men woke up yesterday and start campaigning, unify Igbo, unify. Where who is Igbo? What does it take to be Igbo? What do you identify with Igbo? In all the whole space you call Salsa, even in Benin. When you want to see Igbo, our mother tried to test rapper. They tried to test rapper even in Benin, in Edo State, where they tried to infiltrate too. With their Fonja lineage. If you go all these places, why you go old Southeast, for those of you who don't know history, before 1963, the whole space in the whole of Edo State, Igodomikoto, was Southeast Nigeria. British came here, they know who is Igbo, they know who is not Igbo. British know that where Igbo land start from. British know there are Igbos in Edo State. Ika is a typical Igbo man. We're not begging you. We will not deny you. If you come to referendum and say I'm not Igbo, fine, bye-bye, good luck. You made the choice. Biafra would have long become. When you said no, when I was locked up, it was women from Bayelsa that were hit the street in protest. I cannot deny them. That's why it's still there suffering. But it's not there because of me from other state. It's long we have been preaching. Let's go together. We're not begging anybody again. You say you don't want Biafra, good and fine. Please, you can stay in your space. The only problem I have is that the number of people who are supporting Biafra are in their millions. So you must give them chance to vote. Those of you that don't want, if you are not back, then we'll tell all our brothers, sorry, pack your load, come to Biafra. Something to Yoruba people. Already a mockery means a he-goat. You can continue behaving like a he-goat, living up to his name. You have no other assignment other than to insult people, insult Obi. You think that will make us hate Yoruba people? It's a waste of time. We are one people. We've discovered who we are. My deputy in the zoo is an Yoruba man. He's one of my most trusted allies. I trust him to the extent I can live in my house and travel. If Biafra comes to one of the people say they don't want Biafra, I will beg them, pack your load. Let's go to where you belong. I can give you land in my village to build if you want to stay there. All these nonsense. Look at Nnamdi. Look at old men that are behaving like everybody behaving like idiots. Look at Nnamdi. Who is your grandfather? Go and trace your history. Your great grandfather is from Arochukwu. You come to insult people. You think Yoruba will become your friend? Nnamdi, mark my word. Anybody that know him, send this voice to him that said, before the end of this regime, their eyes will be turned upside down. He will go down. He doesn't know. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know the rules. He doesn't know the parameter. He doesn't know how this place runs. He's not aware. He has been used against them. He wasn't used in their favor during the election, and they will come after you. Nnamdi, go and do your small research. There's somebody who called Ndukwu Bible. Ndukwu Bible did everything he could to push one Nigeria. He did everything he could to deny his Igbo-ness, although not officially. Where is he today? To pull him down because he's an Igbo man. When you can speak, if you like, learn how to speak Fulani. If you're speaking from Fude, they still know you're an Igbo man. They cannot trust you. They have never trust your forefathers. They can't trust you. They will not trust your children after you. You don't know who you are. How can Nnamdi be assaulting Igbo and fighting Igbo people? Fighting Igbo culture. There is no difference between Igbo culture and Igbo culture, except you're not educated. Because all of you collect certificate, you're not educated. Go and check. Go and read the cosmology of the Jaws. Any part of which you come from. You can't go, before you make two steps, you land in Arochukwu. You land in Ahafia. That's where your forefathers come from. You assaulted Igbo. You want to please pacify Yoruba. They will bring you down. But no matter how much, they can never trust you. The put out of Lagos very soon. Put me. It's not a hate speech. If you like calling somebody speaking hate speech, what do? Your actions are hate. You spew hatred by your actions. You don't want me to talk about it. I am only interpreting the social order, the social contract, the narrative, the wrong narrative we are forced to live with in our age and time. It's what we come to air because I'm a social crusader. That is what Nnamdi Kanu came to do. That is what we are continuing. So, look at that is this newspaper. That was the best paper after Guardian. A long time ago, we had only two newspapers in Nigeria, Guardian and the rest. This day came second. Champion was slightly well in those days. I used to work in an advertising agency then in Lagos, so I used to visit all the media houses to come place adverts in the 90s. So I knew all of them. They run them down. They make sure they push them away. Onyema Ugochukwu of APs, watch how long. If we don't get Biafra, tell him that all he has invested will amount to zero. Then we push him out of business because he's an Igbo man. The zoo is not for you. The zoo can never be for you. There is no info that Britain, Fulani, and the Yoruba do to Igbo that they don't do to each other. Somebody should take me on the debate. Come anywhere, Facebook, Live, Twitter, I will come and challenge you. I'll bring my facts and figures. I'm a historian. There is nothing they have denied a woman they have given to a German. Look at the way they disgrace Jonathan. We had the fastest growing economy under Jonathan. Obama came. The demon, the Islamic demon from Angola came and said, no way, and push him out, push Jonathan away. No just reason. TVC, all of them, media house was used. Jonathan was pushed away. No crime committed. What was Jonathan's crime? That is an evil man. Even though somebody from his village says, I'm not evil. Hey, God forbid, I can never be evil. And you start looking at the person, I can never be evil. And looking, are you as good as an evil man? Shouldn't you even be proud to be associated with the most intelligent black race? Shouldn't you even be proud to be associated with the richest black race? Shouldn't you be proud? In everything we are the best. That is why Tinubu allows it at home every Monday to distort the excellent spirit in our children. But many of you don't know. You are too colorful and too emotional to understand the truth and the realities of the contemporary hour. The reason why they are holding Mazi Lionman Lioni is to perpetuate that imbalance, that social disorder, that social construct, the negative impact of a social change, the cause of social change that they're imposing on the Igbo young generations of Biafra. They wanted to continue with that. Every Monday they don't go to school. They lose a day. Go and calculate how many Mondays that an average Igbo child has lost in 3 years. You know how we get this Yoruba power are. Well, Tinubu said he doesn't know that the children go to school in the whole East every Monday. Why? That some criminals they recruited are using their continuous detention of Mazi Lionman Lioni to perpetrate evil in that space. Don't they know? Why do you think they're still holding Kanu? It's so that the youth will continue running to Lagos. That they're pulling down our properties. We have no choice. If you want to go to Aba, the terrorists that they have changed uniform, they have changed their terrorist clothes and give them army uniform and in Aba to kill. They run to Enugu, the terrorists are there to kill. They run to Wele, who puts with them, there are different factions. Asare Lukubo is killing one side. Somebody and his boys are killing on one side. Rubago is on one side, kill him. Who puts with him, his full and new family, and one side kill him. Police and army are killers. No youth is allowed to exist in Lagos State. Very soon, in another 5-7 years, you won't find a mechanic in Imo State again. Why? All the youth have been sent away and killed. The same agenda the British had, what they did in Europe, in Egypt, they killed all the Kemet people, chased them away. Today, you have different people living there. The original Jews, they kill all of them, put their own people there. That is the agenda Obama had with Buhari for the Igbo people. The agenda was to eliminate the Igbo race. When Nnamdi is telling you that Igbo is a displaced race, you don't understand what it means. Before your education, you don't know the meaning when somebody is president to be. The president, a man that brought to the office, he smashed the power, run, now you don't feel run again. No leg to run. He's telling you that the race that built the country is displaced. After the war, 95% of all the money in all the banks in Nigeria belong to the Igbos. Yoruba and Hausa shared it. The indigenization, they used it to buy those companies and gave us $20, £29. In 15-20 years, we came back top to have the largest in all the banks. Look at GTB. GTB is having a problem now. Why is it having a problem? Not because the rubbish he did with one Igbo man, one Igbo businessman, making Igbo people pull out their money. Till tomorrow, they have not been able to sit well. We control the economy of this British stealing farm. We control everything. We're not allowed to vote. We dare not talk. No road in our space. When they're voting, they don't consider us. Britain is coming now. It's going to Yoruba. It didn't come to our time. When the other one, the king came here, he went to the north. He placed Fulani by his right. Placed Yoruba king by his left. Pushed Biafran kings at the back. No agenda for them. Till today, no agenda for us. When he told will be telling me he want to be president because he has no sense. Because Fulani has done his way, he's going to sit on the ground with his enemies. We were good friends before British got enmity. It was not recorded anywhere in history that an Igbo man was an enemy to a Fulani man. It was not recorded anywhere in history that an Igbo man was an enemy to Yoruba man or the Britain came. And you still don't want to see what they are doing around us. How can Tinubu at his old age, Tinubu should be the age of my father, should be Tinubu can be less than 84 or 82, or my father will be older than him with 2 or 3 years. How can Macron of 45 years still be telling you what to do? How come? Are you people normal? How old is British Prime Minister that tells you who to listen to? You're waiting for them to come and divide you. When they draw the boundaries, they're drawing you according to their own interest, not according to who you are. Why should the Yoruba man be in Togo? Another one is in Nigeria. Another one is in Benin. Can't you think? Don't you have sense that you people should be in one country? When will not be free so we can help in others to be free? Mali will help some other people to be free who want to be free tomorrow because now they are free to understand what it means to be free. The economy is growing now. Nigeria they just start statehood. Mali was one of the most richest nations not before now. Go and read history in case you don't know. There's something called Mensa Musa in Mali. Mensa Musa was one of the richest men. When he went to Mecca, the price of gold dropped in the international market just because of the quantity of gold they took to Mecca. That is when the Arabians need to rush to Africa. They come and Islamalize to make sure they enlarge their empire so they can steal more gold. The British came here and saw so much wealth, they carry Bible come. Deceive as many fools that choose to be deceived. Today, they've captured us. They've used church to capture us. Today in the zoo, people want to use church and Islam to capture the Igbo space. There are more Yoruba church in our space now. There is no church. All the churches are headed by the Igbo. I'm going to place I shouldn't be saying on air, but let me say so that people can know what is going on. The same agenda they did in Egypt and they destroyed kill the people, send them away, brought stranger to buy. That's what they have for the Igbo race. And it will not stand. How many that dies is inconsequential. We must get better. Or we die getting it. A generation, there will be a leftover. In history, I've read history to see that in every generation there's a remnant. The mountain of the Kanu generation cannot be wiped out in totality. If you kill me, you will not kill my children. You will not kill my children, my brother's children that have had the story. Every evil man has been equipped with what we're talking about now. That we're oppressed. We don't belong here. We're not wanted here. There's nothing has been done to reconcile. Can you see how idiotic these people are? That after 60 something years, they're signing Southeast Commission, and about you know the shame. And it's so to talk about it. That you just signed a paper. That should have signed immediately after the war. Moving mercenaries to reconstruct the rules you destroy. Rebuild all the market you destroy. Rehabilitate all the people. We abandon them. Even collect all their money. Give the money 10 pounds. 60 something years on, a normal human being, a normal Igbo man will still stand and want to speak in favor of such a country that hate him that much. Are you people normal? Then I must not talk so I don't die because I will live forever. What nonsense is that? They want to wipe out the Igbos. They have not stopped. Now, what are they doing with Eba? This is my personal view. They want to bring Eba to that level. The whole agenda of Eba was battled by Dave Omahi. If Barrister Lloyd Jimako says he doesn't know, I'm not sure he's saying the truth. All of them know what they're doing. The game they're playing, all of them know. And then he will judge all of them and deal with them one by one. They brought this young man to come and so that tomorrow he can come out rivalry Mazi Lionman Lioni. They know that the Igbos are to stop it. They're not going to give up. So who Kanu until Eba gains support? The Eba so-called autopilot by default by all the lies, because they rule by lies, the same lies that British tell people to deceive people. By all the lies and promises, they have won so many followers. But they weren't smart enough. Those that counsel them are not intelligent. They would have told them to front a distinct new, what's it called, pressure group, agitating for Biafra. But suppose on their own. IPOB is on their own. Pick up a new name, brand new name. Go and tell all the people you have convinced in other countries to register with that name. They didn't. Where is EPA autopilot registered? Which country? IPOB is registered in about 118 countries. Where is EPA registered? EPA group, autopilot, where are you registered? Autopilot, idea you go and go to Lake, what's it called? Capital of Finland now. Go and protest for EPA's freedom now. IPOB is registered, they were protested there. Where have you seen EPA protest for Kanu's release? The Yoruba journalist came here, what are you called? He said EPA is a follower of IPOB or is a sympathizer. He's agitating for Biafra.
Mazi, can you round up in 30 seconds, because Mazi Chika has been waiting for a long time. Just round up this question in 30 seconds, because so many questions came up from your answer. I have so many questions to bring out from the answers you've made already.
Wada, continue. Go ahead. Let me stop here. There's so much to say. Let's continue. So go ahead.
I can see there are so much to say. Mazi Chika Austin, are you live with us?
Thank you, man.
Mazi Chika, Mazi Jesa is greeting. Can you hear him?
Mazi Chika, thank you, man.
Don't worry, we'll get him to you. Mazi Austin.
No problem.
Yeah, Mazi JCI na Sike Kaimere. Did you hear him at all? I said that Mazi JCI was asking you, Mazi Chika Kekimere. Did you hear him? All right, okay. Now, okay, Mazi JCI, can you come again so that I make sure that both are hearing each other?
Yes, Mazi, in there, would you say, God bless you. God bless you.
All right, Mazi Chika Austin, you are welcome to the program. But before I will bring questions to you, anyway, say hello to our Biafrans and our viewers so that we should continue. All right, thank you and welcome. Yeah, from so we continue. I'll bring some questions to you as we go on. Mazi, JCI. Now that Mazi Austin is here, you will do us good by trying to be concise in your answers so that we can come to the end of the program. When you were talking, you said that there is nothing denied an Igbo man that is being given to Ijoma. And that came to mind the story of Kensaro River and the eight Ogoni men. Secondly, you said about the fights going on in River State, that is because Fubara has declared his way, as an Igbo man. So I want to ask, does it mean that there is a link between the PG of Ohaneze Igbo and the fight going on in River State?
Absolutely, there is. Yes. The very reason that's what we call ontological basis. So, what informed what is going on in River State is behind the scene. The Ohanese Igbo has zoned the PG ship, the office of the PG, to River State after Imo State. When it was zoned to Enugu, let me remind you of the days of India Wardrobe. The zoo paid all the attention to Enugu State to make sure they decide who rules Enugu, because that will inform who will appoint or approve the next PG. That is why they did all they did there. Killing started. They made sure they hijacked the government house and they produced what you had in India World. A stooge, somebody that had no interest of his people. They moved to Imo State. The battlefield changed to Imo State. That's where we had all the killings. All the thousands of people that have died are just for only two reasons. They want to let pipe for gas to steal our oil and gas in Imo State, and they wanted to decide who becomes the PG of Ohanese. Do you know why? It is believed that when Biafra is to go, there must be a consensus between the Nigerian political elite or the ruling class and those agitating and their elders, which is Ohanese. You recall that Obioso was invited to come and sign for them to have a meeting to let Biafra go. And the Hopus of them told him not to go, and he didn't go. In the days of Mazi what's it called? That man that came on wheelchair. So there's a reason why they're fighting River State.
Mbazulike, that is Mbazulike, Pambazulike Amechi, yeah.
You're right. Now, the office have been zoned to River State. So Tinubu had mandated Wike to go and make sure they score to River State so that an Ikure man does not become the PG of Ohanese, because it has too many implications. One, it shows that everything we're saying is correct. Mazi Lionman is correct. It defines all our claim that Ikure is Igbo, it's an Igbo land, which it is. So because that is why you see Wike today is Igbo when you want to contest. Another time when he's on the back of a Yoruba man or one Nigeria, he is not Igbo. So Wike wanted to hijack the government house, put another stooge there that will produce the next PG who will be like Obioso. Obioso was chosen by the Fulanese, not by the Igbos. Even the Igbo elect didn't know that Obioso was not there for their interest. The same thing they want was not there for the Igbos. They want to pick a PG who is not interested in the unity of the Igbo, who is not interested in the progress of the Igbo, because the Igbo man cannot make progress again in a country he doesn't belong. The only way Igbo man can fulfill his purpose and destiny is in a new nation, whether you call it Biafra or you call it Igbo nation, whatever you call it. So the whole fight in River State is to push Fubara away and bring somebody who will dance to their tune. Fubara has came publicly and speak Igbo. Those things are it irritates the those in Abuja to hear somebody from River State speaking Igbo. You discover the two biggest political centers when it comes to election, collection of result is Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Kanu. All these three places, Tinubu put all his stooge there to mismanage and cause trouble in those areas. We can do what is doing in River State to destroy the place, maybe for 2027, and to make sure an Igbo man does not become the PG of Ohanese from the Ikwere extraction. But the good news is that our people have woken up. It's not only Ikwere now that want to become the PG. Other Igbo speaking clans in River State are jostling for the same office. So that is what is going on.
Thank you so much. for your explanations and analysis. Mazi Austin, are you there for me or for us? Oh my God. Mazi Austin, oh, let's see. Um, Technical director, can you see if you can bring him back once again, please? Okay, let me see. Mazi, just be there while I see what I do to bring him by myself. Technical director, let me see what you can do. And also, let me try and see if I can bring him by myself. All right, Mazi, as I'm trying to see if I can bring Mazi Austin back to the studio. There are so many questions that you answer that I will see appreciate if you highlight them. You talked about Ruben Abati, Nigerian journalist, and BBC cannot be left out. How these people continue tagging IPOB on the criminal activities of the criminal in Finland. Mazi, what do you think that made these people to continuously tagging IPOB on his criminal activities when press release and all the press statement is there in the public domain for these journalists, but they kept tagging IPOB? What do you think that they really want to achieve?
Well, the objective is simple. It tells you one straight thing, one simple point. That single fact is that EPA was their agent. The reason why they tag EPA with IPOB is because that was the original agenda. EPA was imposed to come and destroy IPOB. EPA was something that was discussed somewhere and agreed. It was given an agenda, and they finance the agenda, although they allow him to fundraisings to give it public coloration, to make it look like, yes, Biafrans are support. Are you getting me now?
Yeah.
So the reason why they target with IPOB is that was the original agenda. EPA is meant to come and destroy IPOB the way this guy destroyed the Amazonian struggle, the one that was arrested the other day. So EPA came here, and that's exactly what he came to do. He came to the struggle, a peaceful struggle. We're going to court every day, doing things normal, protesting in other countries, even in the zoo. There's no state in the zoo who have not protested within the Biafran state space. Even when we collaborate with Yoruba agitators, then before we thought they were real in Ibadan. We went to Ibadan. That time Ejiro was our coordinator in Lagos. You know, we carried flag together and protested in Ibadan in Southwest. Protested as well, asking for our freedom, pushing the narrative and pushing our story. So why they are attacking EPA with IPOB is that is what EPA was meant to stand for. I told you that the reason why they arrested him is they want to see if they can extradite him or even convict him in Finland as an IPOB leader. So that gives them, that's what they call antecedent in law. If somebody carry your mother's pot of soup and the court can convict him, call him a criminal, anybody else who is caught doing the same thing will be convicted based on that antecedent. That's why the law is said to be procedural. Law follows antecedent. Up to now, they've not been able to establish an antecedent they can use to jail Mazi Lionman Lioni. In case you don't know, let me inform you. Of late, if you are in court in any detention camp in Nigeria, they take you to court. The judge will advise you to plead guilty, that they'll give you lighter jail term so that they can release you. Sir, you'll be held for 3 years now, plead guilty. The offense they're charging you for is just 3 years and 6 months. If you plead guilty now, they give you 3 years and 6 months. In the next 6 months, you'll be out. You think they're making good deal? No, they're trying to establish antecedents that they can use to jail other people, use to supply to all the 2020 Yoruba media to be writing all the nonsense against IPOB, to tag IPOB, to hang that terrorist tag on IPOB, but it will not stick. So they want to bring Eba or convict him there as an IPOB leader and use from that premises, because Eba is claiming that everything he's doing here, he's doing it for IPOB. So if you can convict Eba as an IPOB member or leader of ESL, you can convict his boss, because it is agreed that the IPOB established ESL. So if you can convict Eba for crime committed, because he has committed so many crimes and he owned up to them, they agreed, he didn't deny the crimes he has committed. So if we allow them convict Eba on that name, they have scored a legal and political point. They can on that premise convict Onyendo. Then later grant them state pardon, release them to go and fight. They will start dragging for supremacy. Because if you can convict Eba, you're bringing him on the same pedestal with Onyendo for political persecution. So they can still hold him for some years. So when they face this for referendum, they'll give him enough time, release him about the same time, and they'll give him that moral support so they'll be able to fight it on Onyendo. And they will project him immediately. You see, immediately they project him. The people like us, today will be 969. In 3 weeks, we are 940. It's jumping up and down. We're not on their good book. We will make posts, they'll put it down. You see, the other day, Mazi Lionman Lioni, immediately they put it down. No reasons. Why? Because it's Yorubas that work for them, work for Twitter, work for Facebook and the Zoom. They're on British payroll for a charge card. Anything IPOB. If in the Zoom, you put anything IPOB, you can't post it more than once. You can't send it more than one person. Now you go tired. If you want to send it to 50 people, you go suffer. You sweat. Why are they doing all that? They're using every arsenal they have to fight us. So everybody has been taught who will play, listen to them, do what they're doing. That's why Kenya is what it is today. They place criminals there. And anywhere criminals are in power, the people suffer. This one is a typical example. You see the suffering this one? Why? Criminals are in power. Criminals are not meant to rule. The state is meant to protect citizens against criminals. When the criminals now take up the seat of power, what are you expecting? Hardship, suffering, pain, and agony. So that is why they're attacking him everywhere. They want us to accept that fact, maybe on sympathy. They want to solicit for cheap sympathy for him. People say, okay, now is it not the same thing? Kanu is asking for Biafra. And now, let me be honest with you. If we had a good state, if British people are human beings, there are reasons, that see you as human, they will not allow this get to this state. There will never be any case of ever if they don't want is right. They went to court, he defeated the court, they started and acquitted, they're holding him. And then you were busy preparing people to rivalry him. You see, they don't have sense. So some of you don't know how they conquered us during the Kumik War, during the Kumik Aru War. Battle, they were fought for 30 something years. The only way the British defeated us was through infiltration. In the whole of Nyoma area. We kill them like Shege. I've said before, no country, no nation, no race has killed the British as much as we did in recorded history. It's the vengeance, the anger they're using Fulani and Yoruba to punish us for, but it will soon be Biafrans. So they infiltrated the Kumiko warriors, brought in people that thought we were part of them. This thing Epa is doing now, claiming that he's giving Biafra. In the bill, somebody called me from my village and told me that Samalepa is declaring Biafra in December. They're getting ready for Biafra nation. They're contributing money for it. I want to talk to them. You know, bring my talk home. You know, really listen to me. Make I not go there at all. So like the same thing, Nnamdi Kanu did tonight, but they do. That is the agenda. But they're wasting their time. They're not as intelligent as you are. Father. They will.
Thank you so much for this wonderful elaboration. And Mazi Chika is here again with us. Mazi Chika, can you hear me? Oh, your voice is very faint. Please, I would like you to speak up. All right. I do not know if the challenges you are facing enabled you to be following, but if you were not following us, we've talked about where we focused that Biafra is a global politics, and Mazi JCI has done much justice by elaborating what it takes or what it means for Biafra to be a global politics. But I will still appreciate if you can summarize that the object that the subject that Biafra is a global politic. Just do a summary on that.
Well, I believe I'm coming out loud and clear.
Very loud.
Okay, well, the truth remains that we have been spent extensive moment to push up that consciousness in the minds of our people that the cause at which we are fighting is a global one. But, the oppressive, or should I say the imperialist powers, just the way they have been running a strategy of making the people to look down on the oppressor to be an internal thing instead of external, and also in collaboration with some internally niggers. The question you should ask yourself, the question we should ask of ourselves is this, ourselves, collectively and sincerely. What is the resources value of our land? I repeat, what is the resources value of our land? Let me say this. Whether if you are a fellow that has you have a whole lot of jewelries that are made up of gold, silver, and other gemstones, or precious ornaments.
This is very serious.
Am I?
Go ahead. Continue. Continue. Yeah.
If you have a whole decorations, you dress up your wristwatch, your anklets, and all the rest of them are made up of gold. Naturally, you're a target to thieves. We should ask ourselves, in Africa, what do we possess? Apart from Algeria, Biafra land is the highest place you have millions of cubic of gas reserved in our land. I'm talking about Asawara. Just about 30 minutes or 25 minutes from Owerri, capital of Imo State. What of the Obaru, the Aguleri sectors, and the rest of them? What of the gemstones in Ebonyi, in Enugu? Talking about human resources, we are already exporting it. In fact, it's recorded that one of the things helping Naira not to die totally is as a result of home remittance. And if you analyze that home remittance on ratio level, you discover that we all have over 70% of that contribution. So you now talk about human resource index. It's really amazing. So we have a lot that naturally makes us to become an attractant to imperialism, to subjugate us, and of other forms of, neo-colonialist ideologies and mentality. So on that premise, we should understand that we are exposed to international politics. We should understand that definitely we are going to be a victims of global maneuvering, statecraft, advanced one. That is what I'm talking. Now, when you now have that second consciousness, that as a result of what you're in possession of, you are exposed to these realities, then you start asking yourself, these maneuvers or these imperialists, how do they work? Because we have not taken time to ask ourselves this question. How do they operate? Do they operate like the local niggers? How do they operate? Let us understand the features, the behaviors of these guys. Then it's on that premise we now understand that most of the jokes most of us are playing. When you look at some of us, you understand that we are just mentally low to understand how the battle we have. So Biafra naturally is an international game that we must understand. Multinational companies, let me tell you, do you think that these companies, Seplat and all the rest of them, operating in these gas reserve areas, do you think they will even want IPOB, which happens to be the only conscious movement that have refused to die or convert into amnesty nonsense, which most of the Niger Delta people have subscribed to? Do you think they will fold their hand and watch IPOB to flourish? You're kidding if you think that the multinational companies, and mind you, during the Biafran War, remember that it was Shell vessel that was used on naval operation against the Biafran forces. We have forgotten so quick that during the war, it was Shell, a British multinational company, released her vessels to enable the Nigerian naval forces enter Biafra through the Bonny Axis. We have forgotten. Ask yourself, why will a company operating in a land show interest in killing of a people? Because they want you to be annihilated, they want you to be destroyed so that they can reap your resources. And that is what we are facing today. That is the circumstances before us. So whether we want to accept it or not, I always say this: by the time reality strikes us, all our illusions and self-denials will disappear. So we must understand that we have a whole lot of battles. We are fighting multinational company-sponsored ones. We are fighting state actor-sponsored ones. We are fighting corrupt individuals, local nigger-sponsored ones. We are fighting a vicious circle battle. And when a man is confronted with such battle, a man who has multiple war to fight have less talk to say. It's only when you don't have any war to fight that you start making noise. But when you are faced with multifaceted war, then you will spend your time in strategy, in planning, in a quiet execution. That is what it is. But when you have nothing, you don't even understand the behavior of the problem before you. That is when you now think everything is noise. I always say it. So, Wanda, that is my contribution on that so far.
Thank you, Mazi. Looking at what is going on globally, Mazi, why is it that Kenya has been a base for high-profile African political victims that undergo persecutions?
Well, Kenya, historically, Kenya has never, such a thing became a modern trend, or should I say contemporary trend, especially after the death of late Jomo Kenyatta, who happens to be the father of former Prime Minister of Kenya. So these guys, we know Kenyatta. I'm talking about the senior Kenyatta, Yerere, and all the rest of them as people who withstood the Pan-Africanist ideology. And of course, they protected the brotherhood, the African brotherhood, especially on the political dimension of it. So what you're seeing today is a kind of the new imperialist ongoing in Africa. One thing you should know is this: majority of African leaders knew that they were not there as a result of people's consensus. They knew certain role played by certain Western nations that got them there. It's not basically the people's choice. So because they are there as a result of Western created flaws, they don't want those flaws to be exposed. They now make sure that they protect the Western interest against the people's interest. Recently, CIA, we learned that CIA told me that Tinubu cannot do anything possible to make sure he protects Western interests because he knew the process at which he even got there. He knew how the Western nations put a signal to Western media not to talk anything about Tinubu's dirty profile. So these are the realities. Come on, we have to really, you see, the best way for us to save ourselves to shocks is for us to be exposed, open our minds to realities. A lot of African countries, just very few of them, maybe if you want to look at them, you look at places like South Africa, Zimbabwe, and a few other places you can say they are not Western posed leaders. Do you understand me? Aside it, what you have in most of African countries are leaders that are made by the Western powers, and they are there to protect the interests of who made them, not even the interests of the people. The interests of Oval Office, Brussels, 10 Downing Street, and all the rest of them are being consciously preserved. So these are the things you should understand. That's why the Pan-Africanists, especially at the level of intellectual discourses, have agreed with the trend of military overthrow, especially that is going on in Sahel. Most people, experts, intellectuals have welcomed it as a welcome development because the leaders in Africa that we are gotten through the horse known as democracy and the electionary are just stooges to Western imperialists. So what you're seeing in Kenya is a conscious move by the modern leaders of Kenya state to do the bidding of those who put them there and not even the biddings of Africa. So the concept of Pan-Africanism or decolonization or de-imperialism has died in Kenya. Kenya is mainly run by rogues. The current leader is known as, he has a whole lot of dirty files, the current Kenyan prime minister. And if you also check his successor, he also has his own. So you have a whole lot of dirty fellows, crowding the political space of African geopolitics. So it's so saddening. And this is one of those things every freedom fighter should know. You don't just say you're a freedom fighter and you're not conscious of this fact. You don't know the thorny places not to venge into. You must be conscious of this. You must do it. Why we tell our people to be exposed to political history, be exposed to geopolitics, so that you understand these are realities. They can't run away from you, whether we like it or not. Biafra poses a threat to these Western powers, and even though they will support you to go, you're definitely going to make sure you have an opposing force behind you, that when they see that force, they find it difficult to crush you. Because they have the might. You cannot deny it. You can say whatever you want to say. They have the might. But when you now have a measurable might that is in opposition with them, then they become conscious when dealing with you. And that is where international relations, who are we relating with, who are we currying affairs with, matters a lot. It's very, very important. So that is it, Wanda.
Mazi, thank you. You see, this is very heart-wrenching because as you just said this, I started counting number of so-called African leaders, how these Westerners are imposing leaders with dirty, very thinking profile, just like the current president of Nigeria, whose profile is nothing to write home about. And that's to say that they plant these people just to destroy Africa, away from the political leaders. Mazi, I can remember that during apartheid in South Africa, that individuals rose to fight apartheid in South Africa. They begin to voice out for the independence of South Africans, like I'm talking about African artists like Bob Marley, all these prophets that almost all of them are now late. Bob Marley, Lucky Dube, the legend Onyeka Onwenu, Fela Kuti, and most of them that are now late. Mazi, what happened that our so-called celebrities and artists behave like ostrich this time around?
Well, it is traceable to. I hope I'm coming out loud.
Yeah, you're allowed.
Well, the current behaviors, or should I say, socio-political behaviors you're seeing in Africa, is not far from three angles of influences. One is the educational institutions. What kind of educational institutions are people exposed to? Whether you agree with me, even though you choose to deny, that is your personal choice. But you agree with me that while you were on your studies time, while you were studying, you agree with me that you were sure to pass through the university, graduate, and go. Am I correct?
You're correct.
Good. Even at times, some of your colleagues will tell you, don't involve in this, because you have extra year. So they have conditioned you to believe that your success is as a result of you sheepishly and like a good passing through a system, not asking a question, just allow yourself to be programmed, don't rationalize, don't think outside the box. And when you come out of that system, there's another system they have also waited to program you. It is called the religious system. They have so much hijacked those you listen to within the religious circle that they keep on telling you, pray for those in authority, that every leader, whether good or bad, is made by God. At that point, they are reducing the level of reaction, the level of revolt tendencies, making sure they make you a less human. Because one of the strong features of humans is reaction, ability to react. And lastly, the institution they have also proven is political association. They made you in a way, they have programmed you in a way to believe that no matter what you do, what will be. They even went as far as letting you to understand that your exercising of your franchise, your voting, your right for vote is inconsequential and useless. You see, let me tell you, these are walls that are being deployed in the mind of the people. And in midst of these people are the singers, like you pointed out, are educationists, as you pointed out, traders, artisans, and all the rest of them. So this psychological warfare is targeted at the population, comprising different elements of people. So if I'm part of this population that have been targeted mentally to be ruined, and I hold mic tomorrow, do you think I'm going to speak against any constituted authority? No, because my mind is beclouded. The educational system have destroyed me. The religious system have contributed its own. The political system has also added. So if I come out, I'll be talking about things that are illusionary, because I cannot give contrary to what my content is. Are you with me, Wanda?
Yes, go ahead.
What people think is what is in them. You cannot sing contrary to your content. So because these guys were not exposed to revolutionary tendencies, they were meant to be, they were trained to be goats and sheep. They were meant to be submissive. Now, when they hold mic, they popularize that stupidity. They make it stupid. That's why over 90% of Nigerian songs talks about sex, illusionary love, fantasies. None of them is targeted as political class. And make no mistake, these are institutionalized systems aimed at undermining these people from becoming whom they're supposed to be. You see, you don't reduce a man by cutting off his foot and reducing his height. The highest place to reduce a man is in his mind. When you make a man to be less conscious of whom he is, you have successfully achieved reduction. And that is the highest point of reduction. And that is why, even though in the struggle we find ourselves, apart from the singers, which have told you the tunnels at which they pass through, the various rivers they swim through and became more stupid. Or every river, whether river of education, river of religion, river of political association, all of them aim at making them more stupid. And beyond that, if you also look at this struggle, you ask yourself, why are our people so stupid the way they are? That they cannot also think beyond. For instance, somebody will tell you, I have paid for worship. Somebody will tell you, I shut down a private jet. Somebody will tell you, tomorrow I will declare Biafra. And you see people will be excited. You never ask a question, do they understand geographical boundaries? Have they taken into cognizance when you declare the Biafra, which country and which country will recognize you? Have you cemented those channels of recognition? But like I told you, the people are programmed to be stupid, and they are not disappointed. So it's a very long issues we are talking about here. You see, the state or the imperialists are not unhappy with Mazi Lionman Lioni because of anything. After he never lifted arms against the state, rather he lifted arms against the terrorists, the Fulani. But they are not happy with him because he was conscientizing people on what political consciousness was all about. And that is it. Why do they hate IPOB? Because IPOB is the opening the eyes of the people. No slave master would want you to know why, the reason why you should be liberated, or to know that every man was created equal. They don't want you. They want you to understand that the class system, that while you are the subject, they are the master. So these are the things, the realities staring before each and every one of us.
Thank you, Mazi. Wonderful viewers, we have really surpassed the time programmed for this very program. But Mazi Chika, please, in 2 minutes, use these 2 minutes to give both your party message and then answer this question. Rumors are making round that the arrest of the criminal Simon Ekpa in Finland is not a reality. How fake is it and how truth is it? Please, in 2 minutes, just do everything we need to leave the stage.
Well, I think I was among the earliest people who announced his arrest, even when no Nigerian paper had ever talked about it. Well, our people should not be this extreme conservative, especially when developmental issues are coming up. We shouldn't be that rigid in positioning. The healthiest thing we can do to ourselves is when issues happen like this, you swing into action You ask question, this happened, this happened, this happened. So there's every possibility that this might be the reason. Possibility. Possibility. You are not giving an absolute ground. You understand what I'm saying? Because the way we sound sometimes is so disgusting and is unhealthy for us. You see, he has been arrested. That can never be faulted. That can never be refuted. He has been arrested. The next thing, having accepted that, we cannot come up with this question: is there any drama behind his arrest? What is the possibility of Finnish government trying to save her face? Because remember, we are having a new change of international system from January 20th, if I'm not mistaken. People should understand that. People should come in terms with that. So a new international system is folding and everybody is adjusting. So we should ask ourselves, hello?
All right. Please, you have less than 30 seconds, please.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say in nutshell is that we should try as much as possible to make a rational submissions, not emotional submission. Get issues and understand, put up a convincing point, especially when developmental issues are coming up. That's all I have to say.
All right, and your final greetings to our people.
I want to thank our, and finally, I also want to repeat my apology over my late arrival.
Thank you so much for coming. Mazi JCI, in 10 seconds, can you wrap up this program?
Yeah, Biafrans, I appreciate a lot of you. Mazi also, today was a secret, watching it. Mary will cry. In summation, I want to say that everybody should remain focused. British people don't give up easily. Neither do we. They know us. They know what we're made of. So we will continue. We will get to the end. And the word I have for Biafrans is that don't lose hope. The coast will clear. Yes, I'm saying it publicly. Only to say the elevator and use is the ended end. Those of us that have the grace to get here from heaven, I'm telling you that the coast will so clear. If they like, they can hire 1 million infiltrators. More are coming. It don't only have to be political body you're here. More organizations will come. Some people who have led the family to be recruited to join. They play this card. It's not working. This card of getting a criminal on IPOB district is dead on arrival. They know. So they will strategize. They want to power place more on the same pedestal with Onyendo. They're looking for who they can deal with in the vein of negotiation for Biafra. That is the very reason why the idea of EMA came. That's what EMA represents. That's what they want to use him to do. All these arrests are RNG. All these arrests, just tell him, don't worry, we'll keep you for some time and we will release you. We will convict you in the name of IPOB, use it to convict Onyendo, but it will not work. So everybody, remain focused. If you're still in Yoruba land, start going home. Start to be locating where you can.
All right, Mazi, thank you so much. The time is no longer our friend. Thank you so much for coming, Mazi Austin. I appreciate the way you fought and make sure that you made it even after us into the program. You made sure that you came, Mazi JCI. Thank you so much for all your effortless effort to make sure that we keep informing Biafrans. Then I have my message to BBC Pidgin, BBC News, BBC Igbo, to Arise News, personally to Ruben Abati, Ojinika, Charles. All these are crew members of Arise News and all the media, Nigerian media outlets garbaging out Gabriel against IPOB and the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I want to tell you that even in as much as you have bent over backwards to make sure that your traction fly, that the Simon Ekpa, a criminal based in Finland, is a member of IPOB or the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. I'm promising you that IPOB will do everything possible, that we are not giving up to make sure we are not leaving any stone unturned to make sure that we debunk on your lies and we place you where you belong. Thank you, wonderful viewers. Thank you, lovers of freedom and wonderful Biafrans, for being with us. And technical director, thank you so much for your patience. And my thanks also goes to the DOS who have empowered this program, and also the European national coordinators who have worked so hard to put BTV in place to make sure that our people are not being left out, that our people do not derail from the truth. I say thank you to all of you. And once again, I remain Wada Jovista Chichi saying to you, good evening.